The Chronicles of a Wannabe Artist. Chapter 0. Prologue. This video is for those who think they were never put in the direction of becoming an artist or who think they are not artist enough. Hello everyone, this is Rachel. I usually upload my sketches and talk about them or try to tell funny stories. But today I decided to do something a little bit different and more personal. For that, I would like to ask you some questions. Do you feel that you're not enjoying making art as you used to? Do you feel discouraged to become an artist and follow it as a profession? Do you feel your art is not good enough because you haven't made any money out of it? Do you have that unsatisfied, unfulfilled feeling? If no, then I really enjoyed you passing by. The rest won't be any good to you, so you can go. But if you said yes, then I have to say, you're not alone. I've been there, and I know how it feels. I struggled with my artist identity for a long time. For example, I would always beat myself up for not drawing good enough or as much as I should have. I feel that becoming an artist was like looking after a mirage, that you can never get to it, and also there is no end to it, since you have that thirst to become an artist and to create. So I decided to talk and share the art part of my life, how it started, where I am now, where am I going. Welcome to my journey as a wannabe artist. Chapter 1. When it all began. چشم چشم دو ابرو دماغ و دهن یک. Oops, I should probably start from the beginning. This is me. I was born in Iran on a cold winter night in the middle of the Iraq and Iran war. Yes, I'm on the table because they didn't know where to put the baby me, so nobody will walk on me. At this stage of my life, I don't have any talent to show, so fast forward to my 1-year-old birthday, when my mom gave me my first lesson, which was this song specially made for kids. چشم چشم دو ابرو دماغ و دهن یک گردو. I grabbed the pen and did exactly what she did. As my mom said, this is when she realized I'm one of those natural artistic kids, and I'm going to grow not to become a Picasso. My dad was not a fan, but maybe a Michelangelo or Michel-Ange. After that, it was me, my pencil, and a piece of paper everywhere. And because of that, I was never bored as a kid. That was a bit hard for my sister since she was always bored all the time and I could never get her to sit down and draw with me. She was a climbing a tree kind of person. Let's move on to the age of 3, when we moved to France and I was more fortunate and had a variety of drawing materials. I mean, colored pencil, colored chalk. Now the ground was my paper. Colored paper, pastels, and oh my god, markers. Especially the yellow one. I had Barbies, but my yellow marker was as important as my Nutella jar. I also discovered cartoons in there, and my thought as a kid was that these cartoons were made in factories, and I never realized those were drawings until much, much later. And oui, je peux parler français. Chapter 2. My first exhibition. My big day happened when I was in my kindergarten drawing class. I mean, it was kindergarten. We had all sorts of drawing classes, but this was the main one. Every day I was doing some sort of drawing, but on that specific day I was drawing something I just saw the other day. Pinocchio. I was attracted to the way his body was made. So basically I was practicing how to draw cubes. I had my head down and I was in the coloring stage when I started to feel a shadow on top of my head. And suddenly my drawing wasn't there anymore. My teacher dragged it out of my hands and left the class without saying anything. I was shocked and stayed there for a second, then started to follow her because I was scared that I did something bad. I went into the hallway and saw her open the principal's office door and got in. I got to the door but stayed behind it and looked from the window. My teacher was showing my drawing and arguing something with the other teachers and the principal. Then, after a moment, she came out, saw me, smiled, and said, "Can you draw this in a bigger size?" It took me a couple of seconds to answer, "Yes, but I need 4 A4 paper to do that." I didn't even do a double take. I didn't know why she needed this, but the request means more drawing for me of something that I liked. So I started to do it, but I had to improvise and plan what I had to do and what should I sketch where. Then did the sketch, colored it, taped it, and gave it to my teacher. Went home without thinking about it. The next day, I saw that they put my big drawing of Pinocchio on the principal's office door. My drawing, I was impressed, shocked, a bit happy, but then I realized I probably couldn't take my drawing home. This was the first time I was recognized for my drawing skills beside my parents. Chapter 3. My first unpaid commission. After that draw Pinocchio and we'll put it on the wall thing, I went on with my day. I thought everything was normal until a classmate of mine approached me. Usually I was left alone and nobody really talked to me, but something changed apparently. That classmate of mine showed me a picture of Cinderella, and she asked me if I could draw it. There's something you should know. We were in the 90s, so the only time I could watch cartoon was in the department store whenever my parent went shopping. So I never watched Snow White or Cinderella or any other Disney characters aside from Jasmine and Simba. Even Pinocchio, I saw it from a TV store on the street. I looked at the picture and liked it. I said, yeah, I can do it, and I did it and colored it. To this day, I still remember the first time I drew Cinderella. It was easy and less work, since I had a reference opposite of what I usually drew. After I was done, I gave it to her. She raised the drawing to her face for a closer look, got really excited. She kissed me and left. After that, I continued with my own stuff and color experimental stuff until the school break. So the moment I went into my break, or la récréation, I was enjoying my bread and Nutella when I saw a load of kids with a pencil and a paper running toward me. They were from all classes. Some of them were even boys. For a moment, I wanted to run away. I didn't understand this sudden attention, especially that I was not a popular kid at all. But when they all gathered around me, I could hear everyone's request. "A Cinderella, please, a Cinderella for me too. Yes, me too, please, me too." It was such a fascinating experience. I never wanted to become famous. I wanted to stay invisible. But for weeks, I became the girl who drew Cinderella. Some brought other characters, but it was mostly Cinderella. But eventually, I missed my art and my experiment with my colored markers. So I got tired and stopped these unpaid commissions. And I went back to draw my own characters and princesses. The funny thing was that whenever I was drawing something aside from a cartoon character, kids back then will ask me, "Who is this?" And I will be like, "No one, someone from my imagination." But as an adult, when I drew characters and gave them names and stories, people would look at me as if I'm nuts. Mais pourquoi?